It is the first ever episode of In the W presented by Pinnacle. I could think of nobody better than Nashville's own Isabelle Harrison. Izzy, thank you for coming on. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for this.
Izzy is back. She is back. She was off last season with an injury. I watched the road to recovery, what you posted of it online, and I'm so thankful that you're back. And you're back in a big way, new team. That most recent preseason game where you played 12 minutes, 50-pieced the
Yes.
list from last year. Let's just start off with a feel good. How are you feeling? Did it feel good to be back out there?
Oh yeah, like when I stepped back on the court, it just felt like so long ago since I've been back out there, but I've been in the league for like 8 years now. So obviously it's familiar territory, but when the game gets taken away from you unexpectedly, it's like any moment you can be on the court and play is just a blessing. So girl, I was hyped. Like the crowd was hyped with it, and I'm taking my time. I'm still transitioning back on the court. But yeah, I was happy.
I want to talk about that crowd because the last time I saw you play, we didn't actually know each other, but I saw you play in Dallas 2 years ago. And
Yeah.
it was my first time in Dallas seeing a game, and the arena was packed. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's been so interesting to watch the game even change from then. I know Asia Wilson was quoted earlier this week, and I love the way she quoted it. She said that the growth of women's basketball has been a whirlwind in the last like even year, 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, your teammate Angel Reese is a big example of that. She's this phenom even outside of the sports world. She's at the freaking Met
Yeah.
Gala.
Yeah.
Being in the league, like this is your 8th year. Do you feel a difference? Like, do you feel that shift?
1000%. Like we were speaking earlier, and now that we're adding a whole WNBA team, we have charter flights now. We have another team coming next year to the Bay Area. And it's just like, man, to see it's one thing to step into it and things are already in place, but to see the evolution of how, the WNBA has grown over the years. And I think we're at a time now to see the type of expansion that we're having as well. And people would try to compare us to the NBA, like, oh, it took them like 60 years. I'm like, we're in the 2000s. Like, there's no excuse for that. There's resources, there's people invested in, people that want the best for the game. And it took a while, but everything it's going up from here. And I'm so excited to see the W win like this.
Yeah. So yeah, she mentioned it. The news just dropped this morning about Toronto getting awarded a team. The charter flights was something that I wanted to talk to you about when I
Yeah.
originally had planned to get you on, because it was announced that all 12 teams will be getting chartered flights for the regular season. Again,
Yeah.
been in the league for so long, and that fight has been like it's been in the negotiations in the process for a while now. How big of a win is that?
It's huge. Like even when my first year in the league, I was with Phoenix. And to be honest, even from that shift from Tennessee to Phoenix, I was like, okay, this is a step down. But then you realize the tier of teams at that time, and Phoenix was one of the best teams. So those resources were great at the time. So then I went to other teams, and I was with Dallas for the past couple years, and we used to do like Southwest and like had the whole seats for our teammates because we couldn't get priority, seating. We're some big girls. Like we need a lot of leg room and just to be comfortable. And you know how quick these games go, and there's added games this year as well. So to be able to just take something like getting home sooner, resting more, it means so much for your body, and it helps you recover to be able to play the next game. So charter flights it's something that we've needed for a while now. So whoever stepped in and made that happen, you are my new best friend. Because yeah, it just makes a huge, huge difference in performance and player safety as well. We've had incidents where, players have been approached in the airport by just anybody who's there, and people are curious when they see us. Obviously, we catch a lot of people's eye, and they come up to us, and we've had positive experiences, but also negative, and we shouldn't be in we shouldn't have the opportunity for that to happen to us. So all around, charter flights it's a win-win.
I watched an interview just because I'm following a bunch of people who cover both NBA and WNBA, and a guy that I know who covers the Pacers posted an interview with Caitlin Clark earlier, and she was kind of saying like, yeah, it's great for the rookies, obviously that's awesome, but for the women who have been in the league, how
Yeah.
much of a win that is, like having experienced the regular flights with regular people on Southwest, on Delta or whatever well, it's going to be Delta now, but whatever
Yeah.
that is, how much more exciting it is for you guys, and then also for you to see that transition, plus what is next. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like what comes next is the most exciting thing I think for this league.
Yeah, it just seems like anything is possible right now with the amount of changes. And like I told you, out of all of my years playing, this has been the most changes within a season, and the season hasn't even happened yet. So I can only imagine the next year, 2 years, 5 years, like what the W will be like. And you also talk about like adding teams and players getting cut because there's not enough roster spots. Now there's just more positionings opening up for the girls who should be in the league to be in the league. Like the girls that were dominating in college, you come to the W and now there's not enough spots. We know what the reasoning is. So expansion is good for everybody. It's good for the game, it's good for players, it's good for the consumers because now you can just see even more talent. And shout out for to Kaylin and Angel. They've both been very like they know their platform and they're aware of that, but they've been so respective to like people who've been here before and almost in a way of like giving back, using their platform to elevate the game of women's basketball on the W. Like it's huge. It's good when you can use your platform for good, and they're doing not just those two, but they're all doing a really good job with just, spreading the love.
Yeah. Okay. Before I let you go, we're talking about rookies, but let's talk about one of the OGs because another big announcement came up recently, and that was Candace Parker's retirement. And
Oh,
it's very
so
bittersweet,
sad.
very bittersweet. But I know that I have seen you tweet it. I've heard you talk about it. The fact that Candace Parker is your favorite player, one of the reasons you even ended up going to Tennessee. Can we take a second to just give her flowers?
To be honest, it's never up to me, obviously, but I wish she would have just stayed one more year so she can just experience what she trailblazed for us and whether she just put her sneakers on. Like, I just wanted one more year for Candace so she can just see like how much she has helped grow this game off the court, investors, people acknowledging just the women's game. And when you see Candace, you see an educated, talented Black woman. And to know, obviously, that drove my reasoning to going to Tennessee. Like I saw a lot of myself in her, and obviously our games are different, but still seeing a player like that come out of a program where I'm from, it led me to go play for Pat Summitt. And I also, when I found out I was the last player to be coached by Pat in the W, that also hurt my heart too, because it's like, man, the mark that Pat had, like, I've just been a part of so many people's lives that have pushed the game to what it is today. So that only makes me want to do my part. And just shout out for Candace. She was the original big guard for me. Like, she's helped translate the post game for big girls. So we can step out and take threes and drive and do these fun moves like guards can do. So I hope she is forever respected and known for what she did for the game.
I'm glad you brought up Pat Summitt because you said exactly how I want to end this off, and it's so interesting. I had to go back and look because with her retirement, you are the only WNBA player who's been coached by Pat Summitt now. When
Yeah.
you hear that, when you look around the league and the impact that Pat Summitt had, how do you continue living in that and honoring that?
I mean, it's hard. I feel like I'm the lone wolf now. So being able to look at other teams, obviously I played with there's players still from Tennessee in the league,
Mhm.
but being coached by Pat, it was just a different mindset that she was able to give me compared to other players. But yeah, just remembering what she's taught me from my freshman year to senior year and still instill that in this league. And she also shaped SEC basketball. And you have a lot of girls in the league that played in SEC basketball. And a lot of women followed Pat's formula, and, ways to success. So that'll never go away. I think that tenacity, the importance of defense and passion and hard work, like that it doesn't go away. So hopefully I can continue to represent her and like obviously Candace well and take care of myself, alongside with that, but we'll see.
Izzy, we will be cheering you on from here. I'm going to be a full-on Chicago Sky fan. So thank you.
Yeah.